morning. Good morning, TikTok. PRFX still pulling down. It's not looking healthy. PBM still pulling down off those highs. BJDX, thought for sure that one was going to curl back and just go bananas, and it's pulling down. TARA, thought for sure that was going to hit 550, but we didn't quite get there. Kathy, good morning. Over there on YouTube. Sheila, good morning. Over in YouTube land. Good morning. Let's see. Retiring. Let's look at Tara one more time. TARA. Looking for 550 on this one. We're going to see if it can tap that 550. Tara, TARA. We've been watching this one. Edwin, good morning. Since early this morning, from 7 o'clock, they put out a press release. And stock was around $3.64. And it has managed to get up to 548. It's at 520 right now. But, I mean, if we look at it in terms of trend, it's trending up. It's had a few dips here and there and scared a few people. But overall, it's trending up. So I guess that's a good thing. LIPO, LiPo pushing up. LIPO, Lapella Pharmaceuticals, LIPO. Finley James, thank you. SATL. That's not doing anything. Let's go back and look at LiPo again, LIPO. What is LiPo doing here? LiPo pushed up and then back. Let's see if it found a little bottom here. Small float, very low float on this. LiPO, very low float. Now it was down around, let's see, Finley James called this one out. Right now it's at 317. The bid was at 317. It was around 315 or so. It's bouncing back and forth between that 315 and 330. It's all over the place, but it has a very low float. And that's a big contributing factor to the price action that we're seeing. And pretty sizable spread on the bid and ask. So it's definitely one you want to be careful with. Kiki, good morning. Edwin, good morning. Always be careful of those low floats. Those can work in our favor. The low floats definitely work in our favor. They can run very, very quickly and make everybody lots of money, but they can fall very quickly as well with that float. It doesn't take much of a sell-off to get those things running downhill very quickly. So we'll keep an eye on it and see what it wants to do here. Kind of excited that this one might take off, especially with the low float. This one could be an exciting one. Sketch, good morning. Yeah, we'll see if we can catch a really good entry on it. Now the bid's down to 306 now. 305, 302, 301. There we go. We got some panic selling going on here. People selling into the bid. 302. We're going to watch this one. LIPO. And of course, we've got Tara. Remember TARA? We talked about Tara. I said I was looking for 550 on this one. It's at 568. It's one I mentioned that had a nice upward trend since 7 o'clock. Had a lot of dips. Probably flushed out a few people on those dips who sold. But overall, it's been trending up, and it's what a great run so far. $3.64 to 583. So really nice run. So with any luck, Patty got Tara on round 2 from 5 to 580. Nice. Very nice trading. Very nice. Mikey, good morning. Good morning to everybody out there in TikTok land and YouTube. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button on YouTube. And thank you for hitting the follow button on TikTok. Do appreciate it very, very much. Now LiPo is down to $3. We'll see if that low float's going to work for it today. Let's go back to the big volume runners. SVMH, PRFX. PRFX is starting to curl back up, but this thing's going to have to break some significant walls here to get my attention. It's going to have to break about 665 before I think this thing's going to amount to much. Todd got Tara from 334 to 560. Nice. I might be darn good. Nobody's a dip, though. PBM pulling back. BJDX. That's got some work to do. MIGA. Tara. Again, it's not looking great, but it's at the moment, but it does have a nice upward trend on. As long as it can maintain that upward trend, I think we're going to be okay. Let's see, not much else. We didn't get really any news at all at 7:30. 7:30 was pretty light. Thursdays used to be pretty good days for us here, but it's been light. I mean, PRFX, great stock. Let's be honest. That one was a real beauty this morning. Um, it spiked up in after hours yesterday. We called that one out yesterday. That stock started off in after hours at around $2.66. It spiked up beautifully in after hours and ran real nice. And then this morning, oh my gosh, off it went to the races, man. It's up to 640 right now, but gosh, the early morning pre-market on that stock was that early morning trading is well worth it if you can get up that early. PBM has been a nice one. BJDX, another real early morning, just gorgeous stock, just beautiful. And of course, the Wolf Pack was on top of all of those. Our Discord starts at, gosh, they're in there at 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning when the pre-market officially starts. They're on it. Already calling stuff out at 4 o'clock in the morning. They're already 2 cups of coffee in and hitting it hard. NNOX. This is another one that we called out this morning on a press release. NNOX. They had a press release out that one of their imaging systems, they have a piece of equipment for the hospitals. It's called the Nanox Arc imaging system, and they received FDA clearance for just general use in medical settings. So that stock has been pushing up pretty nicely since the news came out this morning. It started to push right up as soon as the press release came out, but then it dipped down for about 2 minutes. It took a pretty hard, ugly dip, and then it's been a nice, slow, steady climb ever since. Nothing dramatic, but it's been a nice, slow, steady climb. SMTK popping. SMTK on a press release. SMTK signs a multi-year agreement with Flexel C to develop a new generation of CMOS for smart sensors. So that one popped up a little bit. Popped up from, let's see, where was that at? Around $4.03 all the way to $5.50, and then pulled back. It's back to $4.41 now. So straight up and straight down on that news. And that happens quite often. Let's go back and look at SMTK again real quick. This is another low float stock, SMTK, another relatively low float stock, and we'll see if this one gets a little bounce. It's not big news. Scale of 1 to 10, it's about a 4, 3, probably a strong 3. It's really not. It's not big news. All right. So we're going to watch for, we've got about 10 minutes here. So if you can stick around for about 10 minutes, we shall get our 8 o'clock press releases. I know that's why everyone's here for those 8 o'clock press releases. And hopefully we get a good one. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's see what we get here at 8 o'clock. We're going to have to be on our toes here at 8. Oh. I'll be SMCI pushing up. SMCI has been running pretty nice here this morning. From 41 to, let's see, it's at 42.94 now. All right, let's go back and look at NNOX. We told you about NNOX, did we not? NNOX, if you'll remember, this is the one that had the ARC imaging system. They got FDA clearance for their imaging system from the FDA, and it's just popped up pretty nicely. Looks like it's on its way to 750. Let's see, MIGI starting to curl up. Tara still coming down. PBM not doing anything. PRFX, not doing anything. SVMH, look at SVMH, that little tiny penny stock, little cheapo 3-cent penny stock. It's really starting to push upwards. All right, let's go back and look at Tara, NNOX. Almost hit 750. We got it up to 748. Be interesting to see if that breaks past 750. Been a nice run from where it started. And of course, MIGI still pushing upwards. It's curling up. MIGI, you might remember that one from yesterday in after hours. That was one of our call outs in after hours yesterday. That stock ran really nice. From 70 cents to about what, $1.27, $1.29. Fell down early this morning, and now it's curling back up again. No delusions that it's going to get back into that 120 range, but it is curling up a little bit. Might be able to scalp 10 or 15 cents off of that one. So we've got 4 minutes. If you can stick around for 4 minutes, we'll give you the 8 o'clock press releases. BJDX starting to push up a little. MIGI, PRFX not doing anything. Tara's not looking very impressive. NNOX just kind of sitting there. It's not really doing anything. SMTK, do you remember that one? Remember that one? We talked about that, had a press release. It went straight up and straight back down again. It's starting to curl back up a little bit. That's on SMTK. Unfortunately, sometimes the press releases, you get no action on them at all for the first few minutes. Sometimes they spike straight up, straight down, and then they go flat for 20, 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden they take off again out of nowhere. They're really hard to gauge. About all you can do really is watch any stock that does get a good press release or a fairly good press release, a positive press release, and just keep an eye on it. Even if it's not moving or if it spikes up and comes straight down, continue to watch it. If you can put it on a chart someplace, on your screen. Continue to watch it because sometimes they just get a late start and off they go. But SMTK is a good example of that. Straight up and straight down on the press release. And then flutters around for about 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden it starts to climb up again. All right, we've got just a few more minutes here. Take a look at BKYI. Engineering solutions provider. Gwin partners with BioKey Partners to transform access control and cybersecurity. So again, little business partnership there on BKYI. Not doing a whole lot at the moment and not a lot of volume, but it's one of those that could kind of fester for 5 or 6 minutes and then all of a sudden start going. So you want to keep an eye on it. All right, here's our 8 o'clock stuff. ARQQ. Nokia signed a landmark deal to expand 4G and 5G networks in Indonesia. Nokia. TOVX announces FDA guidance in its design of phase 3 study. TOVX. ARQQ is announcing its financials. It popped up about 70 cents on financials. RNXT receives purchase orders. RNXT receives first purchase orders for its FDA-cleared RenovoCath delivery system. That's on RNXT. Now we got Veon, VEON. They've got a little press release here. VEON and Engro Corp announce a strategic partnership for telecommunications infrastructure. So it bounced up a little bit on the news, but it's not getting any volume. There's no volume on the stock, 202 shares total. So it's not getting a lot of attention on that press release. Now we've got RKDA, Arcadia, enters into a business agreement. Take a look at RKDA. This one has a low float. RKDA, please. See where that one goes. And it looks like so hopefully you guys went over and looked at the ones that I brought to your attention. I've clicked through a whole bunch of them here. Most of them I don't even mention because they're just fluff news. The ones I call out, I want you to look at. Look at RKDA. let's go back and look at some of those that I called out. All right, let's take a look at the ones that I mentioned for you. RKDA. All right, this has gone from $2.69 to $6 on that call out. Kiki got SMTK from 408 to 476. Very nice. How many of you went and looked at RKDA? Well, let's see what Tara's coming down a little bit. IONQ, Quantum Computer, Tara. TOVX is all over the place. RKDA. RKDA is up over 100%, or it was just a second ago. So there's a 100% runner for you right there. Scuba, 359 to 589. Nice. Kyle, 339 to 616. Nice trade. Wow, John, 358 and out at 6. Bob, 330 to 590. Bryce, 325 to 605. Beautiful trading. Anybody else? Engineering, 342 to 535. Mike, 428 to 602. Mr. Casanova, 451 to 580. Did I miss anybody? You can buy anywhere in pre-market. Any trading platform will allow you to buy in pre-market. You just have to make sure your order ticket is set up for pre-market. And that's just a drop down box and a click. It's nothing complicated. Michael, 328 to 594. Let's give Michael that money bag. Ron, $5 to $6. Nice even dollar scalp off of that one. Love it. Don't trade no damn shit. I have no idea what you're talking about. Let's go back and look at Tara again. It's pushing up. Yeah, I don't think he does either. Ocean, 516 to 591. Nice solid trade. Mark, 438 to 538. Nice trade. Don't trade shit companies. Getting bagged on low floats. Are you talking about RKDA? Are you talking about a specific stock like RKDA that we just traded that went up over 100%? Is that the stock you're referring to as a shit stock, or just in general? Well, I guess my rebuttal to that is, okay, it's a shit company and a shit stock, but when people are making $2 per share trades, is it really shit? Mike, 580 to 4. Okay, but Mike, you brought up the numbers. Let's talk about the numbers. 580 to 475. Whose fault was that? You got a bad entry because you jumped in at the top. That's not the stock's fault. This stock was called out at $2.80. $2.80. Now, if you jumped in at 580, that's just bad timing. That's just not good trading. I mean, I don't say that to be mean, but when a stock gets called out at 280 and you wait until 580 to jump in, and then you blame the stock and say it's a shit stock, I don't buy that argument. I don't buy that argument at all. And it just went back to 619. So even if you'd gotten in at 580, you still made money. So I don't buy that argument at all. It's all about your entry. If you FOMO'd and you jumped in after the stock's already up $3 a share, that's not the stock's fault. That's just buyer's remorse. I get so tired of hearing that. People, they blame the stock and say the stock is a shit stock, and it has nothing to do with the stock. It's all about the entry and the exit. RKDA 470 to 6. Just blame me. It's easier. I'm not blaming you. You made the argument that it was a shit stock because you got a bad entry. And I'm just saying it's not a shit stock. I'm not blaming anybody. John, RKDA from 466 to 675. Bob, round 2, 490 to 685. Now, let's be honest. Let's all be honest with each other right now. This stock got called out at $2.80. It's now sitting, it just spiked up to $7. How many of you think that's a shit call? How many of you think that's a shit stock? How many of you think that that's just a horrible stock to even look at? I don't buy that. I think that's a pretty damn good call, if you ask me. So, and again, I'm not blaming anybody for anything. I'm just saying you cannot look at a stock that runs $4, $5 up, a penny stock, and legitimately look at it and go, well, that's just a shit stock. I don't know why you guys are bothering with these shit stocks. Come on. Give me a break. The stock's up 181%. 181%. Come on. Pinky, 477 to 735. No, they don't get to me. I get flustered sometimes when people say things that just they come on and troll my TikTok. They want to troll their own crap. Go ahead. VVPR to activate Dogecoin, or however you pronounce it, mining operations with revenue and profitable cash flow generation by early January 2025. VVPR going up on some crypto news. Again, volume is just now starting to come in. It's getting a little bit of a push. It's got a relatively small float, not a massive float. But just want you to be aware that that stock is there and that news is there. VVPR. RKDA, I got 86% return on investment. Definitely not a shit stock. Awesome. G-Wave. G-Wave starting to pop here a little bit. GWAV. I know a lot of you have traded that already. Robert Carter, RKDA, 475 to 730. Nice. Patty, 360 to 5. Unbelievable. iPhone, 525 to 725 on that terrible, awful, horrible stock. Wolfpack gets it. They understand. Paul, 350 to 725. Beautiful. G-Wave, I just mentioned that they had a press release was all. Let me go back and find it here. G-Wave had a press release. It says Greenway Technologies positioned to capitalize on Nucor's Lexington facility launch and record domestic demand. So it looks like they're taking advantage of another facility's, another production facility. So it's not really great news. $7.75 now. The stock is up 183%. Wayne, 490 to 775. Yeah, it's only up $4 a share. Man. All right, let's see what else is moving. Best call out this week was on Tuesday. I can't even remember the name of the stock now. 3-letter acronym. ZJK. ZJK. You guys remember that one? That was a good call out. That one ran insane. Engineering, round 3, 745 to 789. Yeah, ZJK was one hell of a call out. And I hope everybody caught it. As soon as we mentioned it, I hope everybody jumped in. I know Jay did. I know Jay took advantage of that one. That was an odd move. That was an odd move. And we had that stock low. It's fallen from grace now, but my God, we called that on Tuesday. That stock was at $6.35 before it started to take off. $6.35, and it went all the way to $50. That's a massive. I think that was over 700%, I think. Todd, RKDA, 505 to 765. Yeah, that was a nice one. Michael. SNTI Bank. Thank you, Wolf. You're very welcome. And I do apologize for getting so riled up, but it aggravates me when people say dumb things, man. I just can't tolerate. No patience for it. Just no patience. Zena, look at Zena popping up. ZENA popping up real nice. What's the next big runner? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what kind of press releases we get at 8:30. Would you guys like me to stick around till 8:30 for those press releases, or are you tired of looking at me? VVPR trying to go. Oh, I just got goosed again. Quit filling my bank. Well, I'll tell you what. Sean, 347 to 742. Nice. Valerie, 10% on VVPR. Very nice. Rick, VVPR, 155 to 185. BJDX, nice move. Yeah, that one was nice early this morning. After hours yesterday, and then early pre-market, 4, 5 o'clock this morning, that kind of early pre-market stuff. Oh, beauty. Price target change, SCNI. Yes, you did goose me. I saw that. Year to date up 25% in my trading account. 25% increase is pretty darn good, I must say. We had a lot of really good runners this morning. Some of them started in early pre-market this morning before 7 o'clock. Some of them started then, but we've had a couple that have run really nice here. RKDA starting to push up one more time. Oh, John made a little list here. PRFX, BDJX, NNOX, RKDA, SLXN, PBM. Those were some of the runners from this morning. LiPo is going flat here. LiPo is flat. Let's go back and look at G-Wave again. Well, G-Wave finally pushed up on that press release and popped all the way to 93 cents. So if you took any of it on that press release, you should have done fairly well. Tara, T-A-R-A, is pushing up again. NNOX hasn't given up yet. It's still in an upward trend. Tara's still pushing up. T-A-R-A. Look at that. Boom, $6. $6. Yeah, those were both really horrible call outs. TARA and RKDA. I don't know how I can look myself in the mirror. In at 470, out at 586. Nice. I don't know what to expect with these when the market opens. We never know how Wall Street's going to respond to these price movements. If they want it to continue to go up, um, it'll go up. And we really are not in the driver's seat at all. We are passengers in the back seat on any of these stocks. Wall Street's in control. Don't kid yourself. And they're controlling price movement very closely. And all we can do is hang on and be a passenger. All right, here we go with the 8:30 stuff. Let's see what we got. WKSP. WKSP to adopt cryptocurrency. If you like that news, WKSP is going to adopt cryptocurrency. WKSP. EEIQ announces full year 2020 revenue of $9.2 million. EEIQ going up on revenues, 61% year over year increase. EEIQ. SRM just did a direct offering, registered direct offering for $1.7 million. That's not going to sit well. I'm clicking through more press releases. The two that I already gave you so far, the only two that were worth mentioning. Nothing there. STSS sales agreement to support major European healthcare network. Now it pops straight up and straight back down again on the news, and that's on STSS. So all you can do is go watch that one. See where it decides to go. Be patient. Wait for your entry. Be patient with it. Especially if it's fluctuating and it doesn't look like it's going up, it's not going down, or it just doesn't look like it knows what it wants to do on the press release. Wait it out. But if it looks like it knows where it wants to go on that press release, then you don't hesitate. Still clicking through press releases. Registered direct offering. Kiki, have a great day. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. All right. So nothing on any of those. So just that couple, that two or three that I read off to you, appear to be the only ones at 8:30 that look like they might have had any substance to them at all that could have potentially pushed the price up. So let's go back real quick here and look at a couple of them. Let's see, Tara's pulling back a little bit. STSS. STSS, another shitty call out. Well, let's see. Where did it go from? It was at $1.98. Round 4, 738 to 808. Nice trade. STSS, 230 to 350 for John. Yeah, it sounds like I need some bacon or something. I'm getting edgy. So let's see. Where did STSS go? Started off at $1.98 and went all the way up to 370. It's pulled back. It's pulling back. Yeah, I'm getting hangry. I need some bacon. I need some bacon. I need some bacon and a big omelet. I need something. But I've got a blood test today. Yeah, I need a Snickers bar. Bacon and the beach. Now that would be good. Made 24% on RKDA. Nice. Looking to learn. Did you take a course? No, I'm self-taught. I am self-taught on stock trading. And you do not need to pay anybody to learn how to stock trade. You don't need to pay anybody to learn how to stock trade. Everything you need to know is on YouTube. Just go on YouTube and type in whatever topic you're looking at. And I'm telling you, there's some you're going to get, you type in one topic and you're going to get 70 videos. And it's just kind of up to you then to kind of click through and figure out which ones you want to look at. I watched hundreds and hundreds, literally hundreds of hours of video on YouTube before I ever even started trading. And I kind of had it figured out, like what I needed to do and what the process was and how to do it. But as far as getting that skill and getting better at it, that's only done through practice, trial and error. You find a system that works good for you. And for me personally, it was trading on press releases. That was my secret. D-Rocks, STSS, 240 to 360. Let's go back and look at Tara again. There's Tara. There's our other horrible call out. That one's at 634. Just wicked up to 643. But yeah, I learned off of YouTube's. That's where I learned how to trade. And I'm talking about the basics. And then from there, it was just a matter of honing my style. And that's what it's all about, is finding a technique or a style or a system, whatever you want to call it, that works for you. What works for you may not work for me. And what works for me may not work for you. Everybody learns differently. Everybody has their own pace. Some people are visual learners. Some people have to read what they're learning. I'm a more visual learner. I want to see what I'm supposed to do, and then I pick it up immediately. So everybody learns a little bit differently. And for me, after several years of trial and error, what I found that worked for me was press releases. When the companies put out a press release and the stock price goes crazy, I found from my own personal experience that I did better on trading when I was trading on a press release than I did when I was trying to trade on technical analysis and trying to do swing trades that, you're trying to find a stock that looks like it's maybe going to continue going for a couple of days. I didn't do as well with that as I did with press releases, but that's just me. Some people pick up technical analysis like it's nothing. Some people are just math whizzes. They can visually see the lines and all those horrible lines all over your charts, and they can make heads and tails of it, and it means something to them. And they do very well trading that way. For me, that wasn't the case. I get too many lines on my chart, and it gets confusing. It's almost my anxiety. I get too much anxiety when I see too much. When my chart is overcrowded with a bunch of technical analysis BS, my anxiety just takes over, and I can't do it. So for me, I keep it simple. Just keep it simple. Press release pops out, I'm either in or I'm not. We hit 705 on Terra. How about that? How about that? But you guys are welcome to join us on the website anytime you want to. All you have to do is pop over to the website, which is wolfpackcommunity.com, wolfpackcommunity.com, and go to the website, subscribe to live trading. And there's two options there. You can try the 7-day free trial, or you can just skip that and go right into your subscription. If you do the 7-day free trial, it simply means you can hang out with us for a few trading days. Hang out with us for 3 or 4 trading days in the live stream on Zoom and see what we do and see how it works and get a feel for what's going on. And if you like it, you don't have to do anything. And at the end of the 7 days, the subscription will automatically start. But if before the 7 days is up, you decide this isn't for me, I'm not getting any value out of it, it's not worth $25 a month, all you have to do is go into your own user profile on the website and cancel your subscription. And then there's no charge, as long as you do it before 7 days. If you wait till after 7 days, your subscription is going to start. So if you want to just hang out for a couple of days and check it out, you can do that for free, as long as you cancel it before the 7 days. So I would highly recommend at least checking it out for a few days for free. I mean, what do you got to lose with that? We start at 6:45 Eastern time in the morning, 6:45. And we do that because the press releases, for any of you that are not aware, the press releases come out at 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30. They come out on the half hour. Some do come out in between the half hours, but for the most part, the big dump of press releases comes out on the half hour. So we go live at 6:45 so that at 7 we're ready to go with that first round. So you're welcome to join us if you can be up at 6:45 Eastern time to pop in there with us. Try it out for free for a few days. If you don't like it, if you're not getting any value out of it, just cancel it and there's no charge. Terra, back up over 7. RKDA still up 163%. Brandon got Tara from 605 to 716. Now let's go back and look at some of these others that we talked about. Zena, remember Zena? We talked about Zena going up. It's popped up a little bit here. We managed to hit 697 on that. And the important thing to remember about our live stream that we do on the website, that lasts about 3 hours. But remember this, we don't get massive runners every day. Some days we might get a 20% runner or something that moves up maybe 70%, but we don't get 100, 200, 400% runners every single day. That's not realistic. We get them quite often. We do get them quite often, but we don't get them every single day. So I just want you to be aware of that. I don't want anybody disillusioned thinking you're coming into something that's just going to pay you. You know, it's not a get rich quick overnight kind of scheme. It's not like that at all. Zena pushing up now over 7. Terra now up over 100. Terra Therapeutics shares soar on positive data from a bladder cancer treatment trial. So that's what that's been pushing up about. And it's been pushing up all morning from $3.64 all the way to $7.24 so far. How beautiful is that? And then Rime, R-I-M-E. R-I-M-E. They're doing a $9.5 million public offering. So their stock is tanking hard. It's dropped quite a bit here. Rime has dropped. Where is it dropped? It's down 46% on that news. We got a little handful of news here. It's 8:45. RKDA pushing back up again. BJDX not doing anything. RKDA could be a 200% runner before all said and done. Eric got Zena from 583 to 720. Nice trade, Eric. Wow. Very nice trade. Yeah, I've seen Bitcoin went over 100,000. Isn't that awesome? That is pretty cool. Congrats to everybody that bought that many, many months ago at like 24,000 or whatever it was. Bob, third time on RKDA from 697 to 749. Nice trade. 3K to work with. That is such a tough question, man. You're really going to. It's going to vary so much from day to day. With 3K, obviously you're not putting. You have to remember it this way: with $3,000, you're not putting the whole $3,000 into a stock, because you can blow up your account that way. If you get into a bad trade and it drops, you can lose your whole 3K or half of it, if it drops fast. So you're only get out of 3K, you might only put $200 into any one position. Now, with that in mind, you put $200 into a stock, let's say it ran 100%. Then you would make $200 profit. So that day you might make $200. Now, another day you put 200 into a stock, it might only go 5%, maybe 10%. So you made $20 or $10. So, one day you make 200, another day you make 10. The next day you might make 500, the next day you might make 25. It really varies depending on how good a stock you got into. There's no specific amount. Now, once and if you trade cautiously, wisely, and methodically, you can grow your account. If you grow your account, now imagine instead of trading with $3,000, now you have $10,000 in your account. Because over time, you have built your account up. Now you've got 10 grand in your account. So now, instead of putting $200 into a stock, you might be putting $500 into a stock or $700 into a stock. Now, when the stock goes up 100%, you've made $500 in a day instead of $200. Or let's say you put 500 in and it only goes up 10%. You made $50. So it really, it matters how many different positions you get into in a day, how much money you put into each one of those, and what kind of percentage you got out. You got to remember, there's going to be days where you might get into 3 different stocks, 2 of them go up, 1 of them goes down, and you sell for a loss on one, you have a gain on 2 others, but the gain was big enough that it kind of washed out and you really kind of broke even for the day. So it's a really, I would not ever recommend anybody quitting their day job. I worked full time while I was trading. When I first started trading at 50 years old. I was 50 when I started, so I got into the game late. I was 50 when I started, and I worked full time. I mean, when I say full time, I'm talking 50 to 60 hours a week, full time. But I traded full time as well. I was working second shift, so I could trade from early pre-market all the way till noon, and then quit trading and then go on to my full-time job. So I was able to do both. So I was very fortunate that way. But from 50 to 58, I worked full-time the whole time and traded the whole time. But I managed, over that 8-year span, I managed to build up my account to the point where I could retire. So it took some time. It wasn't a get rich quick overnight. And I was very, very dedicated to it. Very dedicated to it. It wasn't just a hobby. I was very, very serious about getting good at trading and getting to a point where I could retire and then do it full time if I wanted to. But I wouldn't recommend quitting your job ever, 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 ever. Big Papa, Tara from 662 to 672. Let's see. Yeah, Investopedia is great. I use Investopedia I used to use it almost daily. Every time I would see somebody mention a term on a video or in social media, somebody type something in, and I had no clue what it meant. So I'd go to Investopedia and type it in and go, oh, okay, I know what that means now. Bob, round 4 on RKDA, 7 to 870. What a great stock. 207%. Didn't I say a little bit ago this could be a 200% runner? We're at 208 right now, 209, and it was higher than that a minute ago. Round 5 for TD, up over 100% today. Beautiful. Beautiful. You can trade, I trade unlimited because I have a margin account. When you have over 25,000 in your account, you can apply for a pattern day trader account or a margin account. It's the same thing. And that allows you to have unlimited day trading. You can day trade as many stocks as you want, as often as you want, and the money clears and settles into your account immediately. You don't have to wait one day for the money to clear, and it automatically clears. That's the advantage of the margin account. Shella Brown, Tara from 518 to 707. That, Sheila, that is beautiful. But a lot of people use, you have the 3-day thing for day trades, but trade with a cash account. This is my understanding. Trade with a cash account. And as long as you're trading with settled funds, settled money, you can trade as often as you want to, as long as you're using settled funds. If you start borrowing against unsettled funds to make a trade, then you're going to be limited to 3 per week. Mark, 75% out of RKDA from 505 to 845. That is beautiful. Yeah, but don't anybody ever quit your job to day trade. Start it off as a hobby. Start it off as something that you do in your spare time to make a little extra cash. And over time, as your account starts to build, you'll take it a little bit more seriously, and but don't ever quit your day job. You have to have a very sizable account with a lot of cushion financially to be able to quit your job and just day trade. And how much I would conservatively, and this is, maybe some of you would disagree, but I would say conservatively, you need to have at least 100,000 in your account, and money set off in your savings account to pay bills and house payments and all that stuff, to be able to quit and do it full time. It takes a sizable amount of money because there's so many days where you lose money. Next day you make money. The next day you might lose some. It's such a ebb and flow. It's not consistent, and you need to have a lot of cash reserve to survive on those bad days or those bad weeks. Now, if you're not the primary breadwinner in the house and you don't work as it is already, then sure, you can say, hey, I day trade for a living. Or maybe you work from home. Maybe you have one of them jobs where you can work from home and you're on the computer at home and you can spend some time bouncing back and forth. CETX announces integration of AI armed person detection feature. CETX. QLGN regained compliance with NASDAQ's minimum bid price rule. They now have a very small float. They just went through a reverse split and they got past their 10 days of compliance. So now they are officially compliant. QLGN. And that stock is moving up a little bit on that news. Sometimes that kind of news moves it, sometimes it doesn't. You got to be careful with those. It's on QLGN. Sound. Yeah, if you're self-employed or you are work from home employed, you definitely can day trade a lot because you can work your schedule around. And I know a lot of people that work from home that they can kind of pick their own hours. And day trading would be perfect for them. But you definitely don't want to quit your day job. Do not. Does being fired count? Terra, now up to $7.40. Yes, Michael, that's a good point. And you got to remember about your taxes on all your capital gains. All this money you guys are making in the stock market. Don't forget, Uncle Sam wants his piece too at the end of the year. On limit buy, yeah, you have to do limit buy in pre-market. In pre-market or after hours, they only allowed limit buy. You can't do a market buy, if that's what you mean. Round 3 on RKDA, 736 to 836. Boom! Wolfpack. The Wolfpack is on fire. Oh my God. Yeah, Uncle Sam wants his piece. One of the things that I did personally, and this was just for me, it may not work for you, may not make sense to you, but for me, as far as taxes go, as far as my account, once a week, at the end of the week on Friday, at the end of the trading day on Friday, I would look at what my total net profit, my total realized gains, my total realized gains. at the end of the week on Friday. I kept track every single day. I had my journal. I kept track of how much my realized gain for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And at the end of the week on Friday, when I was done trading and I wasn't going to trade anymore, whatever my total, let's just for the sake of discussion, my total was $10,000 profit. Realized gain, $10,000. My system was that on Friday, I would take 30% of that and transfer it out of my trading account into a savings account that I had set up. That was for taxes. Then I would take another 30% and I would transfer that out into another bank account that I had. That was for me. That was for my spending money. That was whatever I wanted to use it for. Bills, playing, going to the casino, whatever I wanted to use it for. And the other 40% that was left, that stayed in my trading account to help build up my account. So that's how I did it. And I did it once a week. 30% to Uncle Sam, 30% to me, and 40% stayed in the account. That works for me. Now, maybe that doesn't work for you. Maybe you have a different system set up for doing that, but that's just how I did it. So whatever works for you. I'm just sharing what worked for me. How much money I put at risk each day? Well, I typically will only trade a very small percentage of my account. Now, for me personally, I usually put about 2,000, either 2,000 or 3,000 into any one position. Doesn't matter if it's a $9 stock or if it's a 30-cent stock. I usually put either 2,000 or 3,000. But keep in mind, that's a very small percentage of my overall account size. I think most articles that you read from professionals, most articles you read will tell you not to put more than 2% of your overall account value in any one position. Now, that seems kind of small to me. 2% seems a bit small. I think 5% to me sounds a little bit more reasonable. But I think most professionals, every article that I've ever read in the history of me doing this, every article I've read, the consensus seems to be around 2%. That you don't want to put more than 2% of your total, whatever your total account value is, you don't want to put more than 2% of that in any one position. That way, if that one position goes south on you, you haven't lost a big part of your account. For example, you don't want to put 50% of your account value in one stock, because if it tanks, you're going to blow up your account and you're going to be left with hardly anything. So you try to keep that percentage pretty small. So, and what percentage would you pick? That just depends on your comfort level. Like if you have $1,000 in your trading account, what to you is a safe amount? Out of $1,000 is 100, like that's a tenth of my account. Is that seem reasonable? Does that seem like an amount that I could lose half of that and still be okay in my account? For some people, that might be, if they have 1,000 in their account, they might think $20 is a big risk. For other people, 200 might seem like a big risk. So it really varies depending on your risk tolerance. That's a big thing in stock trading, is risk tolerance. That's a term that's used a lot. Whatever your risk tolerance is. If you've got 1,000 and your risk tolerance is $1,000, then you put the whole 1,000 into a stock. But I wouldn't recommend it. That's a horrible way. That's a horrible way to trade, because it's just very, very risky, and you could lose your whole account. In a couple of trades, you could have your whole account blown up. So always mitigate your risks. Your risk tolerance is what matters. Think of it as disposable income. Think of it as disposable income. FOXX, take a look. FOXX. Think of it as disposable income. And you don't want to put any more into one position than you can afford to lose. It's like going to the casino. You don't take your house payment money with you to the casino. You don't take your electric bill money with you to the casino. You don't take your car payment money with you to the casino. That would be foolish. And stock market's no different. You don't put money into a stock unless you can afford to lose it. Now, what is that number for you? $20? $100? Everybody's different. Somebody living paycheck to paycheck, $20 might be a lot of damn money. Somebody who's a millionaire, $10,000 might seem like nothing. So really, it does vary. It just depends on your unique situation. But don't put any more in any one stock than you can comfortably afford to lose. Walk away from it and go, it's okay. If you're putting so much money into one stock that if it tanks, you're crushed. And you're moaning and groaning and beside yourself, almost in tears and in panic mode because you got hit so hard, you've put way too much money in the stock. That's just the honest truth. What's the difference between your TikTok lives and your Zoom calls? What you're seeing now on TikTok is exactly what you'll see on the live, on the Zoom. The difference is the amount of time. Normally, we're only on TikTok for about 30 minutes. We're on the live on Zoom for 3 hours. So that's really the difference. And I don't usually run my mouth this much. I don't usually run my mouth this much, but we've had a lot of very poignant questions, very important questions here on TikTok, and I wanted to address those. Plus, on Zoom, you can see my screen. You can see my watch list. You can see my charts. That's another big plus to it. And on the Zoom, there's no lip smacking. So there's that. All right. I got to go, TikTok. You guys have a great day trading, and I'll see all of you this afternoon, 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be back on TikTok. All right. Go over and join Jay's live. Jay is live right now. Go over and join him. Tell him Wolfpack said hello.